Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is Velga the Observer, and what you are looking at here is actually my dog. He's obsessed with bananas. So that's a banana, and my dog here, he's just looking at it like he's looking at a ghost. He's looking so shocked, his eyes wide open, and he's just drooling, constantly drooling. So I today will color in, well, not color in, we'll color this one, okay? And I shall use, and again, this is because I've been using these textured brushes lately, these chalky pencil-like brushes, because it is actually a brush pack, a whole brush pack, a brush set that I've made specifically for Procreate, and I've been testing it for, I guess, months now. So I'm going to use it, I guess, one last time before I think I can finally publish it on my Gumroad like next week, so you can all go check that one out. Okay, so for now let's continue with coloring this. So he's a white Pomeranian, so we're just going to go for easy mode, pure white. I guess it will be quite a monochrome piece. If you don't know what monochrome is, it's just the different tone, you know, brightness and darkness of one single color, and in this case we are using white. So darkest will be black and brightest will be white, and in between will be all sorts of grays. And I'm not actually blocking this in the easy way, which would be to use the lasso tool. I'm painting it in by hand because I just think if you paint this in by hand, you'll end up getting these lovely unpainted spots that I have no intention of blocking in. I feel like I should just leave it in because it makes it look aesthetically pleasing, at least for me, because it resembles when I paint in real life using real paints. For example, watercolor. When I use watercolor, it's actually very hard to resist the urge to just fill everything in with paint. Because when you use watercolor, it actually looks better the more of the spots of these white pieces, the spots of white paper showing through, the more you leave that in, the better your painting will look. It gives it a nice organic feel, like it looks very fresh. Like if you were to see a watercolor painting that has a lot of empty, unpainted spaces, big spaces, or just simply these spotted parts of the paper still showing through, it will look very nice. It's as if the painter didn't spend much effort in creating it, because there's so much of the paper still showing through. And in this case, there is absolutely no way I can make it look effortless because, well, for one, you're actually seeing me paint this in. And it's taking a while, right? It's not like real life where I could just use a big fat brush and just fill everything in very quickly. But at least the finished product will make it seem so. You know, it will make it look like I didn't spend much effort making it, and it will make it look more organic, like it's an actual drawing. And you can see all these parts of the color that have been spilled outside the lines. I'm not gonna bother with that much. Well, maybe try my best to not keep it all that chaotic, but a little bit of mess adds a lot to the whole picture, I think. Controlled chaos is my favorite approach when it comes to painting. I actually haven't done watercolors for a long time online now, so that'll be a good idea for me to do. Might do that one soon. So we are coming close to the legs now. Legs/feet. Paws. I like to call them hands. So my dog's got 4 hands. Okay. He's got the shaky back leg on the left. Don't know why. Maybe he's too old. Or he just lacks exercise. Depending on how he stands, it would like tremble. Okay. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Okay, let's paint this in. And I believe this will look better when clean. When it's clean. Because I did initially planned for this to be like a for there to be like a negative space here in the middle. And here we go to the last paw. There. This is the negative shape I was talking about. Okay, and I think let's fill in the banana. I guess let's just get the blocking in completely out of the way so we can fully bring ourselves to get into the mood of coloring. Although not really coloring much, more like shading, because we did predetermine for this to be quite a monochrome looking piece. So mostly just black and white. Might introduce a little bit of color later though. Because my dog's not fully white, he's got spots, but very subtle. And with a pink undertone showing through because he's got pink skin. guess I undid something here with my palm. Come on, Procreate, be better. I like to do that before I'm coloring over here, right? Before I move somewhere else these days, just to stop myself from undoing whatever I did. Before I move, I make a lot of taps, so that way even if I undo once, nothing will happen. Okay. And now, let's move on to shading. Oop, sorry, not assist. It's supposed to be clip. Yeah. So I believe that was pure white. Now let's go gray. Okay, gray here. Gray here. This is quite zoomed out. Okay, not trying to unnecessarily zoom in because I can see everything clearly. And it's also important to just not to zoom in when you don't need to, because you're making a piece of art here. It's made to be viewed using other people's eyes, you know, not microscopes. So you don't need to render mega HD, because then you might as well just use a camera. Okay, I think we can make this part dark. Just hide it here. Because there's a twirling piece of tuft of fur here. That's sort of coming out the front and then attaching itself again here. We'll push it back. Now I think it will be good if we shade here as well. Okay. What else? When I made this, the line art, I didn't really plan much on whether the shaping of the fur made sense. I just kept making line art that looked good in a calligraphic sense. Which is actually okay, because when it comes to something, when it comes to not something, when it comes to things like fur, such a chaotic looking thing to begin with anyway, so you can get away with making complete chaos as long as the way you have somewhat styled your chaos resembles the look of fur, you know. I actually do that a lot when I draw and I'm in a sketch. I just sort of turn off my brain and I just squiggle, but not mindlessly squiggle. Squiggle, let's say, for example, if I'm painting trees, drawing trees, I squiggle, yes, I squiggle, but I squiggle in a way that sort of makes the squiggles look like leaves if you were to just glance at it. Like if you stared at it for a good 10 seconds, of course it will look like a lot of nonsense, but if you were to just glance at it, it will look like leaves. That's sort of the way I just sketch and texture things. Might make a whole video about that one soon as well. It's quite relaxing. I believe the technique, the proper name would be spontaneous drawing. It's where you just sort of, you draw one thing on your canvas and then you just keep drawing around it, keep building around it, and you just don't stop until the whole canvas is filled with your drawings and doodles. For some people it can look like eyeballs, you know, could look like grass or leaves or hair. I think when I do it, it tends to look like plants. But I do try to train myself to make it so that I can adapt and use that technique into drawing everything. And it's a work in progress. I haven't been able to really draw every single thing using that technique, but a bunch of things that I can sort of draw while keeping that technique in mind is plants, that's one, and then hair / fur. What else? Roots. I can draw roots, okay? And then leaves. Let's see what else. I wonder. I wonder if I can find some rocks, I guess. Yeah, rocks. What else? I think that's about it. Yeah, because I haven't really made much of anything else. I guess random geometric shapes. Kind of like this one. But mostly it's leaves and hair and fur. Oh, and plants, like root-looking stuff that look like roots. Where was I? Here. So this is just a lot of grays, and it's just a sketch, not too. I don't intend for this to look all that fancy. Okay. Still a lot of grays, and I suspect this will get tighter and tighter very quickly towards the end, because there's a lot of midtone, right? And as we get darker, as we get closer to black, it will finish like fast. So we're getting closer to the face. I'm gonna begin with the ears. Okay, what should I do now? Okay, let's go big, actually. Might be easier. Okay. Dark here. Where his head, in between the eyes, where his head just sort of becomes the snout. We're gonna add a touch of pink. Okay. Also maybe on the chest. You know what, the line art is looking kind of too red, so I've darkened it now. Okay. He's got a black nose. Black nose. Can make the nostrils really black. A little bit of gray. Let's sort of darken the snout area here. I think no matter the dog, they will always have blackish snouts, huh? Except maybe, well, most dogs. I see a lot of pit bulls with like pink snouts. And I think I will make a new layer and not clip it below. Because in some parts, especially the face, I think it's better to just not have all that, not have much of that white stuff showing through. Parts like the nose, where I definitely want to have like very black. So we've got the tongue over here. Okay, and he's quite old, so his teeth, you know, you can't really make him go white anymore, even if I brush them. So they sort of stay this enamel color. Darkish mouth, I guess. We can even go with black, I think. Or close to it. Okay. Oh yeah, these whiskers, the spots where his whiskers come out of. Let's darken those spots. And of course, this is not a realistic rendition of my dog, it's like a caricature. This is how I see him, I guess you could say. He's a banana-loving monster. One time I bought like bananas quite far away from home, and he was with me when I bought them, and he just kept spinning all the way home. It was crazy. Okay, this is sort of turning into a bad decision, huh? Using black for the inner parts of the mouth. I guess we could go the cartoon route and block that in with like gray. Cause yeah, I guess if dogs, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though it might look realistic compared to a dog you would see in real life, it's not the kind of look that I would like for a painting. I guess I'm not a realistic type of realistic art type of guy. Okay, let's give him a gray. Okay, I've sort of retrieved some more of the lips, so let's paint that back in with black. And now we can bring out highlights. Let's go smaller. And over there, he's kind of red, dark red in the corners here, and also light pink. He's quite dark here in the corner of the eyes. Let's see, am I missing something? Okay, let's go dark for in between the paws. Not dark, sort of gray. No, you know what? If I look at his paws, it's just like a fluffy toy paw. So I guess let's leave it looking as it is right now. And we can go back to the eyes. His eyes are actually, well, like people, it's very dark brown. Very dark brown, but I'm gonna use black. Because from afar, like with people again, because there are no such thing as black eyes, right? It's always very dark brown, but if you look at it from afar, people with dark brown eyes, it's always black, you know? Like you look at them and you just think black eyes. Even though they never are. They never are black eyes. Touch of brown. From certain angles, he has these reflective lenses, actually very visible at night. What are we gonna do now, eh? Okay. Let's add some pinkish colors to the eyes. Oh, the tongue. Let's go darker on the bottom. And very dark right at the bottom. And a highlight. Okay. Let's take that gray and then go darker now. And some parts. And this is the part that I was talking about, where it would just come together very quickly the moment I add these richer darks. Because this is quite a dark, quite a bright picture. So not much of the, or whatever you see is going to be dark. So the more intense we get with the darks, the less of it this picture should have. So I guess it should mostly have a lot of these midtones, right? Midtones and the bright ones, the highlights, I guess you could call them. But then a moderate amount of these rich darks and a tiny bit of the super intense darks. I guess for a darker picture, like a nighttime picture, or if you're drawing something that is set in a dark location, like a dark room, the reverse would be in effect. Like, I'll give an example. There's going to be mostly darks, a little bit of highlights, a little bit of midtone, and a tiny bit of the highlights. I'm gonna paint that in below down here. That way, the highlight will really pop, because there's so much dark. And when you do a highlight, let's say it will be on the eyeball or something, or on the nose, or on the cheek, like a tiny white dot, it will really make it pop, because everything else is so dark. Okay. And I also think we'll probably fix things later. Very soon. So there are just some parts that is bothering me. Okay, first of all, the minor fixes, and this will be on top of everything. I like to do that these days, because if I try to identify where the faults are, because if I make a new layer, then that's one layer, right? And if I put it on top of everything, it will cover everything up. So I've made 5 layers now. If I try to identify Yeah, maybe if I just try to identify within 5 layers, it won't be that much to troubleshoot. But let's say I've made a bigger piece and it's got like 50 layers. That will be such a hassle to identify, you know, where the problem is. So I would prefer to just make a new layer, at least these days, and I've been doing this for months now. Make a new layer on top of everything and I fix everything there. So yep, like that. Some parts are just too dark. Because it doesn't look like that in real life. So I want to fix it. A little bit of highlight there on the nose, on the tongue. His ears are pretty much just like cotton balls, like just the white floofs. And let's sort of get rid of a lot of the outline for the eyes. And I'm using white here. Not the best color to use, but this is just a sketch, so it doesn't really matter to me. Let's go tiny now and retrieve back some of what we'd lost there. And let's get rid of this. Leave a little bit still. I think we can go pink now. For like here. I think it'll be okay because he's got these dark red eye boogers, so a little pinkish color on the eyelashes, I guess, would be excusable. Because I just wanted to separate the eyelashes from the eyeballs. Oh, the snout. Break it up a bit because it's looking too even, too uniform in that texture. Gotta break it up with white a bit so it looks more chaotic. Okay, I think that's good. This is good. Oh, but it's looking too fuzzy and not defined, the detail here. So we're gonna make it sharp again using white, but we will then go back in there and paint it in with more black. Okay. I guess that would be all. So now we're just gonna do the banana. I'm using gentle drawing dust, by the way. It's like a very gentle. I'll give you a demo real quick. So of course it does like a very solid thing, like that. I'll do it here without the clipping mask. So solid, right? Like that, solid. But if you do it gently, you'll lay out like a very gentle texture. If you use no pressure at all, it barely lays down anything. But if you apply a little bit of pressure, it applies like a nice texture. And if you press moderately hard, you can get that, which is nice. Pretty much the whole brush set has that pencil-y feel, in case you're wondering. Okay, let's go back to shading the banana. This one's okay, a little shading there. Oh, you know what? Let's get rid of it. I think there should be okay. Let's go really dark for the ends here. Like a proper banana. And let's go dark here as well. And the reason you're seeing these spots showing through is because when I was blocking it in, I didn't block it in fully, opaquely. So a lot of the background stuff is still showing because I'm using a clipping mask layer. If I were to draw on top without the clipping mask, of course it will block everything in flat, like so. See? But we're doing that on the clipping mask layer, so it's still showing through. And he really likes mushy bananas. Any banana, actually, but better if it's mushy. Because he's got almost no teeth now because he's so old. Okay, let's go a little closer to orange now. Dark. Dark here. Okay, and let's introduce a bit of the brightness again into the shadow, just a little bit. Here too. Now let's go really bright, but I think it'll be better if we just use the linear dodge layer. And I happen to have a bunch of, well, not a bunch, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 special effect brushes here. But today we're going to just use, what is it? Obscure glass. Let's go darker. More saturated. Ooh, looking nice and textured. Nice. Let's make a glow here too. That looks funny, like a glowing forehead. Let's make his teeth glow too. Yeah. I think we can use the subtle sketching brush now. Just use the brightest white for the drool. Although we can also use the ordinary soft brush for the glow. And I think below the glow we can add like a linear burn, right? Okay, linear burn, is it? Here it is. In some places. Because if something's glowing, then you add like a touches of darkness under the glow. And I'm talking about literally here. Like right, that's the glow up there, right below it. I'm not talking about how you would look at these things in real life with your eyes, right? I'm talking about literally below the glow, on a different layer below the glow layer. If you add darks, it will make it look more visibly like it's glowing. Okay. There we go. Because sure, you can have like a glow on a white object, but then you won't really see it, even though it's actually there. And it's supposed to make sense because it will probably look like that too in real life. But since this is a painting, if you add darks below the glows, it will make it look more obvious. See, now we're done. So we've got this ball of fur drooling, and he just cannot get his eyes off of that banana. Okay, very entertaining, at least for me. Little dude's a good friend. This one's for you. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, as always, please just ask away down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer, okay? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.